8 days to go to the start of the World Cup, and of course, we still have actions going on across different leagues in Europe. For the La Liga, though, they are currently on holiday as it is, but here the players are not, as the same players we're going to be featuring for their different countries. Welcome. This is Football Analysis on CTV. This is a Saturday edition. I call it the OMS special because I know a lot of people are planning to go out and have fun, either to check up with family and friends or to go do, some Mugomo branch or some OMB things. And for some people, it is football all the way, whichever your choice is. Keep it logged right here with us on CTV because we bring you premium content, all right, across everything that it is that we are serving you from football, which is what we are doing today. My name is Amala Bakaraji. In case you do not know, I've got a special guest with me. You get to see him in a bit, but you know that you can be a part of the show. You can be a part of the conversation across our different talking points. I'd like to hear what you think as well. On Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, we are there, CTV Live, and on Instagram and TikTok, we're there, CTV Live 1. We're currently live on YouTube, by the way, so you can get the action live as it does go down. I'll be going on a very short break. When I return, you get to see who is in the house with me. Stick around. I'll be right back. Join me, Omola Bakaraji, on CTV every Tuesdays and Thursdays and put your football knowledge to the test. You stand a chance to win up to 5 gigabytes of data. All you have to do is to follow us across our social media handles and answer the question on there correctly. To participate on the live quiz show, our handles are on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. It is at CTV Live, and on Instagram and TikTok, it is at CTV Live 1. So if you think you know about football, this is the place to be. Welcome back. This is still Football Analysis on CTV. Joining me on today's show, I've got with me Ibrahim Ayobiojo, who claims to be a couple of nicknames. I'm not going to be mentioning any of them, just in case you're wondering. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. Just in case you don't know my people, Ibrahim Adinho is here. Now I'm saying Easy Babatu is here, number one. Only
just
one person.
Pick a side,
Only
bro.
one person.
Pick a struggle.
Ow.
Just pick one.
Easy Baba is my actual name.
That's the one we know.
Yeah.
This is Ronaldinho.
Yes.
Who is that?
We know Ronaldinho guy now. No, don't look like that. Ronaldinho Christian me that name. Name.
I didn't see that coming. What's up? How are you prepped? How are you getting ready? How are you clearing your schedule in time for the World Cup?
That's the hardest thing to do. Clearing your schedule for the World Cup is hard, especially with the fact that it's the December period, it's the Yuletide period. How do we go about it when we are having the festive season and we're having the World Cup? It has double enjoyment. In fact, if you ask me, double enjoyment. But I'm ready. I'm ready for my Brazil boys. I'm ready to see the pain in some people's faces when we get to the finals. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
By we, I'm assuming you're mentioning the Brazilians. Because by we, I would assume you were talking about the Nigerians, of which we know that Nigeria is not going anywhere.
Oh, Nigeria is not going to the World Cup. Oh,
what you have to say?
Oh,
we're going to revoke your passport. We'll revoke your citizenship. All right, before we get to the World Cup, because there's no way we can even avoid talking about. I didn't want to avoid it because it's very important. It's a huge showpiece. We're talking about the biggest football showpiece on the planet. All right, something that every player, every coach, every manager look forward to, and they enjoy, and they just kind of wait for. All right, so let's start with the Premier League now, shall we? The La Liga, we know, is not going to be featuring today.
Lucky
this
guys.
Week. Right, lucky them.
Ones, yeah.
Lucky them, because we have action across the Serie A, the EPL, the Bundesliga, as well as the Ligue 1 as well. So, all right, let's start with Manchester City taking on Brentford. The first game for this weekend. City had a very interesting game last time out in the EPL. We'll leave the Carabao out of it. But talking the EPL, they had a very interesting action over Fulham.
Yeah,
went down to 10 man and had to fight, and teeth, nails, claws,
hairs,
to get maximum points in that one. They take on Brentford, who had a very interesting draw to Nottingham Forest last time out. What are we expecting to see in this particular fixture?
I would say Man City dominance as usual. They like to dominate their opponents during games. Thomas Frank's team is not going to be an exception. But they know how to contain and they know how to go on the counter as much as possible. And I see a very very angered Ivan Tony after missing out on the World Cup squad. I feel he's going to want to prove a point today. Might be a tough ask, but he's going to prove a point today. Man City on their own, trust Man City normally. Any day, anytime they are Strasbourg, they want to beat you out. And uh, Man City for the win actually. But if you want, if, on a more on a larger scale, right? João Cancelo got a red card in the previous match. Kyle Walker actually he's not the same Kyle Walker. How he got into the World Cup squad, I still don't know. But I am looking at who's going to be starting a right back for them. Is it Kyle Walker or is it going to be Rico Lewis, the very young star
Who dazzled over
over
over the week, midweek, yeah.
midweek and on his debut as well in the Champions League. So I like I said, I see Man City going for the win. Haaland is back, but Pep Guardiola is coming out with some news that he might start, he might not start. Probably trying to play some mind games. But this is Man City for the win. Easy Man City for the win.
Okay, let's see if Brentford will be able to give them some trouble because Fulham did cause them some trouble
Yeah, so
last time. Unfortunately, they were on the losing side. But let's see what's going to go down today, 1:30 p.m. The kickoff. We have there for action at the Anfield for the 4 p.m. hour. We have Liverpool taking on Southampton. Liverpool had quite the game over Tottenham Hotspur last time. We're having Southampton having their new manager coming, Nathan Jones. We say this
Yeah.
over and again. When a new manager comes in, players want to prove a point. You need to prove that you deserve to be here, you deserve to get a place in the starting lineup. Southampton have had a season I think they would like to forget. A very unimpressive start,
for the season, yeah.
which was why their former manager now,
Fascinating.
Arsenal, had to leave, had to be relieved of his duties. Liverpool have been like a yo-yo all season. You know, they were incredible against Southampton. They were underwhelming against
Tottenham.
Leeds United. Beg your pardon, against Tottenham, yeah. They were underwhelming. The last time out they had action at Anfield in the Premier League, they lost to Leeds United,
Yeah.
which was a shock win, to say the very least. Now they're back home. Do you think they're going to be able to put it behind them? The last time they were here, they were outplayed and outscored by Leeds United.
Yeah, were they outplayed by Leeds United? Nope, they were just outscored by Leeds United. But Leeds United got the win. I'm going to give them their flowers. Don't give me that look. The win against Tottenham was a very very nice spring in Liverpool steps. They followed that from the Champions League win from Napoli and the Carabao Cup win over Derby. So they are in a good run of form. Just might be a very very minimal run of form, but at least they've got back to back wins and they've got a spring on the steps. Southampton on the other hand, I don't see, like I've always said, like we just rightly mentioned, a new manager comes in, players want to prove a point, and the manager himself, all he wants to first do is the defense, shuffle them, what's it
Just
called?
to keep it tight
Keep
at
it
the
tight
back.
at the back. Don't consider unnecessary and dumb goals, and see what you can do attack wise. But how that is going to pan out against Liverpool might be hard because Liverpool are actually still forget the fact that they got a win against Tottenham. They still feel wounded and they still feel like they have not been up to standard this season. That is why they find themselves in the position they find themselves in right now. So Liverpool for the win, but I see them struggling to get the win actually because Southampton is going to want to come good and try and surprise them at least.
Okay, let's see if they're going to be able to do that at Anfield. The next 4 p.m. Kickoff, we have Bournemouth taking on Everton. Everton were lackluster, to say the very least, against Leicester City last time.
Yeah.
They did not impress me at all. It was the few times they tried to do something. Iwobi was very key in that. The Murray Gray also was in action. Dominic Calvert-Lewin was also there. For Bournemouth, they gave us very, very interesting game. Their boy seems to be on a level that I'm actually quite impressed with. Dominic Solanke, Billing, all of these guys. Yes,
Yeah.
This particular fixture is a game of teams that are on similar levels. They know each other. Everton have proven to be to be very comfortable in the Premier League. All right, Bournemouth just getting back into it. They used to be comfortable, but not anymore. They're just coming back now. This particular fixture, what do you expect Frank Lampard to try and tweak something, seeing what his team did against Leicester wasn't the most impressive?
Yeah, you might want to tweak something, especially the fact that apart from the Leicester beating, they got beat by this same Bournemouth a couple of days ago, 4-1 in the Carabao Cup, and it was a very embarrassing defeat because they were outplayed,
Out everything.
everything for the win. They got their courtesy of a very very brilliant but
Demurray.
if not for his brilliance, it might have ended 4-0. So he wouldn't want that to repeat itself, especially the fact that it's the same opponents they are facing again, just a couple of days apart. They use their I'm talking about Bournemouth right now. They use most of their French players to play the game, and they won that, and that kind of
Convincingly.
convincingly that by that kind of margin. He's not going to be impressed with his boys. I To an extent, right? I feel like the Everton boys would have been would have been let me say assaulted with loads of barrage, as in of how to call it, he would have reprimanded them as much as he could. I'm talking about Lampard right now, because how would you be playing against Bournemouth team B and get beat that much? And it's not as if you guys aren't how would I put it, aren't on the same par. To an extent, you have better players than Bournemouth. How did that
And
happen?
they did business in the summer. They tried to bolster that
They have
squad,
Onana in the
So
in the middle of the park. I'm actually impressed with him. He knows how to cover the whole grounds. And Demary Gray is there. We have Iwobi. We have Dominic Calvert-Lewin is back. We have Anthony Gordon. They have players, right? But the players have failed to impress after their blistering October run. So feels like the October run seems to be dwindling, but they need to wake up, and especially if it is against Bournemouth. Getting a revenge win against them will not be bad, but this game might just end still like a stalemate.
okay, I would prefer there is a winner. So
Yeah, at least
you guys should give us something exciting. Even if it's going to be a stalemate, I don't want it to be a goalless one.
like
I
5-5
expect
Abby.
goals.
We had that 5-5 before in Premier League, right?
Yeah, and it's going to be very interesting if we get that today. I don't see it happening though. But I expect goals. All right, for West Ham taking on Leicester City, 4 p.m. as well. The Hammers have failed to replicate their run of form in Europe back at home. They were unfortunately, and such a close one in the EFL Cup
Yeah.
in midweek. Now they're out of that. They have the Conference League and the Premier League to focus on.
Mm-hmm.
They've been doing so well in the Conference League, not been
Yeah.
able to replicate that run of form in the
Mm.
Premier League. For Leicester City, they started not so well. They seem to be getting their mojo back. They seem to be getting the much needed result. The only blip they've had in recent times was against Manchester City, which was quite deserved. They gave them a run for their
Mm-hmm.
money, lost by a very close margin, and which
Yeah.
was a
One
stunner
nil.
of a goal, which there is no keeping that out.
Yeah.
So West Ham now taking on Leicester City, both managers, tactically sound. They know what they're about. Um, what do you expect to see from both managers now? Talking about Brendan Rodgers and David Moyes.
Um, a very very audacious attack from the two of them, because West Ham would not want to continue in this kind of form they are in. But I feel like David Moyes and his backroom staff actually have this. Yeah, I think their priority this season is on the European continent, and um, their EFL, what's it called, Conference League campaign, while less less importance is rather for the
Premier League
Premier
right
League,
now.
right? It looks like so, because you see them playing in Europe and you're like, this is West Ham, and when they're playing in the Premier League, what's wrong? They get hammered in the Premier League. So, um, but they face Leicester, right? And Leicester themselves didn't start the season well. They are coming good. They've got a couple of clean sheets in the past few games. Going into this one, I I fancy goals, but I don't see any one of them keeping a clean sheet. But the winner might fall to any one of them. West Ham getting the win is going to be a very very big boost for them. At least their confidence is getting back after that painful exit from the Carabao Cup midweek. Leicester, on the other hand, they progressed midweek from the Carabao Cup via Jamie Vardy's and brilliance. So, coming into this game, Leicester are the better team on form right now. On form right now, they're the better team. and West Ham are home and don't want
Leicester
the
City
Foxes
team
to
there.
come beat them at the home. So it's going to be a very, very interesting matchup. I just want to see what's going to happen after the 9 a.m. 90 minutes.
All right, let's see who is taking what in this particular fixture. Tottenham Hotspur taking on Leeds United. For Spurs, they have been quite unimpressive against the Big Six, the Big Five, I should say, since if you're counting
Yeah, one of
Tottenham out,
them.
yeah. They have not done so great. We had them against Liverpool last time out. They woke up that came to the party in the second half. It wasn't enough to get anything out of that for them. Talking about Antonio Conte's side. For Leeds United, for it's a match, they've been here and there. They dazzle you this week. The next week, they try to do that. But so far, they seem to be the team with the better momentum going into this particular fixture.
Yeah.
But we're seeing a Tottenham Hotspur that just lost to Liverpool recently.
Mm-hmm.
And we should fancy a response from them, don't you think?
Yeah, we should fancy respect from Tottenham Hotspur. Leeds, I'm not going to call them giant killers, but they are what they are this season. They play fantastic football under AC March. But Antonio Conte is going to have his
So well cut out for him.
seriously, because we know how attack minded Leeds is under AC March, and Tottenham themselves, they know how to attack, but mostly on the counter. And right now, one of their shining light up top in Song is not available, but they have Dejan Kulusevski back. Might be an added advantage for them, but uh, their run of form against big teams has not been impressive. They know how to show up against the small teams, but to an extent, Leeds, they are a small team, but they don't play like one. So I just want to see how it's going to turn out. But I still think Tottenham should edge this one out.
Okay, let's see if the Spurs will be able to give us a game to survive today. Nottingham Forest and Crystal Palace. Forest have not been enjoying their time in the Premier League
Mm-mm.
upon their promotion, and they're quite comfortable in 20th place, unfortunately for them.
Yeah.
Because in recent weeks, we've seen a better Nottingham Forest side,
Mm-hmm.
talking about synergy,
Yeah.
talking about goals scored, talking about their players. They've been sparkling in front of goal. Unfortunately, it's not been translating to the results. They had that very interesting game against Brentford, of which they were quite lucky to get the win. Beg your pardon, to get a draw,
Mm-hmm.
but it's they should. It was a draw that felt like a defeat, seeing how they actually did play in that particular game. Now they're taking on Crystal Palace, and you and I we've said over and again that Palace is the forward
The
line. You
four
know,
boys.
they just have they complement each other so well from
Yeah.
Eze to Zaha.
Olise and
And
Edward.
it's just so nice to see them play. Do you think Nottingham Forest will be able to handle what Palace will be bringing to them?
Uh, um, I don't know how much they can contain them, like defensive wise. I don't know how much they can contain Crystal Palace and their attack. Or they themselves, their composure has increased a whole lot. I'm talking about Nottingham Forest has increased a whole lot. I'm going to give kudos to Steve Cooper, regardless of their position on the table. He has improved the quality of the team. No, I would like to say quality. Their way of play. They are more balanced than they were before. They considered two very very on them. What's called um let's say I want to say one word, but it's not TV like. So let's just say they considered two good goals against
Brentford.
Brentford. They found their way back into the game, and they took one valuable points. I'm pretty sure they would have wanted to take three, but they weren't one. Midweek they stunned Tottenham Hotspur like 2-0. Tottenham Hotspur didn't even get a goal, and they played well. I'm talking not now. They played fantastically well, actually. So they are in a good run of form. Crystal Palace, their form too is.
It's
But
hot.
yeah, Patrick Vieira is
Got
on.
maximum point again West Ham over
Yeah,
the weekend.
yeah.
So
Patrick Vieira is doing his job right out Crystal Palace. So you would fancy his chances against Nottingham Forest. The fact that most people have been getting all 3 points against them, but I'm not going to be overconfident if I was him, because Chief Cooper's boy seems to be on the resurgence, and I'll be wary. But I want to see a game of goals, and I don't know who's going to edge it here. I honestly don't know which. I've been trying to pick one in my mind, but it's hard to see. Well, I just want to see a game of good goals, and I want one of our Nigerian boys to score, sir.
All right, we have Taiwa Winnie for Nottingham Forest, and we also have a couple. I was
I
reading
want
someone else.
Oni, Manuel Dennis,
Oh, sorry, the Watford one. Oh,
Olise,
okay.
Easy.
All right. So more than enough Nigerian blood in there to get us goals. Let's see what we're going to be seeing in that particular fixture. I think both managers would prefer if their sides get maximum point, but I don't
Yeah.
think the other will be willing to relinquish that. Newcastle taking on Chelsea. Newcastle are the boys with a spring in their steps. They have springboarded their way. They've done javelin, shot put, and found their way in the top three in the Premier League right now. Currently sitting in third place, and which is very interesting. All right, they've been scoring what the last 4, 5 games. They've been having a minimum of about 4 goals scored against their opponents. For Callum Wilson. Practically everybody in that particular Newcastle side.
Mm-hmm.
And something that is very, very important is the fact that their big boy that they got from Real Sociedad, talking about Alexander Isak,
He's not here.
is not here. He's not part of the carnage. He's not part of the demolishing that they're doing to other side.
Amazing.
And now they take on Chelsea, who would like to forget their last few games real quickly. Do you expect Graham Potter's boys to be able to give Eddie Howe and his boys a run for their money?
He should. He has to, because he might just have been appointed, right? But we all know he's in Chelsea.
Well, no, different owners.
Different owners who decided to sack Thomas Tuchel after a few games. Come on, please. It's still Chelsea, I beg. And the fans, right? The fans, some shareholders of Chelsea, too, they don't really believe in what Graham Potter is doing after a few games, because if they had been playing well and losing, it's a different thing. They are the new style is trying to implement. It's just, it looks different. It looks like it's a mixture of I'm trying to put my Brighton tactics, whereas you're having players who can't really play in that position, and I don't understand. You would have Kalidou Koulibaly and Thiago Silva. You'll be using Thiago Silva and Cucurella as the centre back. How is that possible? You get wiped by players. Come on, Cucurella is a left back. Use him there. What's his name? Loftus-Cheek. You're starting Loftus-Cheek ahead of Denis Zakaria. I wanted to say who in his right senses, but I just said it too. Who in his right senses does that? Like, Loftus-Cheek is a good player, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't come close to Denis Zakaria. And I am not saying this with my mouth covered, I'm saying it openly. It does not come close to Denis Zakaria. Not that does it come close to Mateo Kovacic. So or Jorginho. But I'm not the manager, right? He is the manager. Look, he's just doing anyhow. Whereas look at his counterpart, Eddie Howe. He's doing it the perfect way. I'm being serious here. He's doing it the perfect way, right? Look at what's his name? You just talked about Alexander Isak, the man that broke their transfer record. How many games has he played this season? Less than 3.
Yeah,
And he got 1 against Liverpool,
yeah,
right?
it's been out.
Imagine him still playing, right? Imagine him being part of the team. If they are not part of the top 2, it is problematic for them. They don't have Isak. They don't have Alexander Saint-Maximin. Come on. Look at Almiron now. Look at Gumaresh now. Look at Callum Wilson now. His first call up to the England squad as part of the World Cup. Come on.
It says a lot about their run of form. Chelsea are winless in the last 4 Premier League
It might
games.
be 5 after today.
Oof, tough. Chelsea are winless in the last 4 Premier League games. Newcastle have 4 wins under their belt in the last 4 games. The last time they dropped points in the EPL was against Manchester United, of which they gave them a run for their money.
And the last time they lost was against Liverpool.
Yeah, that's the only game. That's the only game they've lost all season.
They've gone 10 matches unbeaten in the Premier League.
So, Eddie Howe.
I don't see Chelsea stopping it.
Whoa.
I'm talking about the unbeaten.
Okay.
I don't see Chelsea stopping the
unbeaten.
All right,
so that's quite the call. But let's see if Graham Potter's boys will perhaps be very upset at their what they gave us.
Small outing against Manchester City. Very, very lackluster. Kai Havertz was nowhere to be found. Raheem Sterling was gone, because if it was the Arsenal derby, the London derby we were talking about, we were still bashing them, and I was feeling like they should improve on it. You are facing Man City. Show them that no, Man City started with Nicolas at the back.
But in fairness, though, maybe that was a game plan. Get out of the Carabao Cup and focus on Champions League and the Premier League.
Are they going to win both? How sure are they going to win both? It is a 38 game run.
They can't
same as the Champions League. You know, the amount of stress that is there in winning the Champions League.
Well,
Champions League is apart from the World Cup, right? Champions League is the hardest thing to win in club football.
well, they won it last 2 time. Beg your pardon. The penultimate one, the one
Mm-hmm.
before this one, they
I,
did win
I,
it.
I actually love the way I try to give them vibe.
No, I'm just saying.
You're
I'm just
not
saying that. I'm just saying
anything.
that the bulk of the squad was the
Mm.
same Champions League winning side. A few additions that we could
Dennis
say is
Zakaria
to
wasn't there. Raheem Sterling wasn't there. Conor Gallagher wasn't there.
they've been trying to
Khalidou
go
Koulibaly wasn't there. Marco Kurela wasn't there. Should I continue?
at this point.
Amanda
You're
Broya
not
wasn't there.
getting. Stop this. Okay,
And the
Homer
most
was there.
important person is not there.
Thomas still.
Thomas Tuchel is not there.
But there is Graham Potter. All right, away from that, we have Wolves taking on Arsenal. Arsenal had quite the game in midweek. They had quite the game over the weekend as well. We had a London derby against Chelsea, which they won by a lone goal. It
Very
wasn't
impressive win.
Was it very though?
No, I'm not going to talk about. I'm not talking about. I'm not talking about their performance.
Okay.
I'm talking about their
Yeah, the point.
the point. Like
Yeah.
you beat Arsenal, Chelsea at their home.
Yeah, it's massive.
It's massive.
And then they went in midweek against Brighton and over Albion, and
They showed us Arsenal.
was deserved things.
They showed us Arsenal of old, right? Honestly speaking, Arsenal of old. They do the what we call in Nigeria we call it IGG, initial gragra. They do the initial gragra. They got the first goal. How the goal is Edin Ketia. If you haven't seen, go check Edin Ketia's goal. Amazing, right? They got the first goal, but the Zabia and his boys were like, oh yeah, and they got ousted. To how would I put it? To give Mikel Arteta a little bit of credit, he used most of his French players, right, to execute the match. Doesn't need the Carabao Cup. I'm not sure because he wants the boys to pay full attention to the Premier League. And
also after Europa as well.
And
so.
Europa as well. So the reason he started the French boys, but to an extent again, Brighton still started the French boys. So
a lot of rotation happened for both managers. So for Wolves now, we're having the new manager finally taking charge of this particular fixture. We'll expect the.
No, is he yet? It's tomorrow. He's going to get. He's going to be
getting
on Monday. I beg your pardon, on Monday.
So which is quite interesting because but hey, I think I still expect the Wolverhampton players to give us something, give their manager something off of their abysmal run of form that I'm sure they would like to forget real quickly.
Yeah, but I still see Arsenal giving them another defeat. Probably if Wolves end this weekend bottom of the table, I won't be surprised because Nottingham are facing Brentford, Crystal Palace, and I talked about them getting a point at the least. After Wolves facing Arsenal is not going to be very, very sweet. The only thing he's still not going to be back. He got a straight red card. In Diego Costa, I thought he was going to be back. He still has 2 more matches to
service ban, yeah.
Yeah, so it's going to be out for Wolves. It's seriously going to be out for Wolves. If they get a point here, it should feel like a win for them.
Okay, let's see if they're going to give us something at the Molineux. I mean, they are home after all. Let's see if they can undo what the table toppers Arsenal will be bringing to them. Brighton taking on Aston Villa. Villa had a very impressive, absolutely. Villa had a very impressive game taking on Manchester United, which they were the better side and deservedly so. They got the maximum point. For Brighton and Thomas, I beg your pardon, I keep calling this man Thomas. Roberto De Zerbi, yeah. It's been quite the games for them. It's been quite the result, finally getting back-to-back results. Now they took on Aston Villa, new manager in Unai Emery. This is the second stint in the Premier League, and his first time out, he gave us something very, very, very exciting.
With Arsenal, right?
And it's also very interesting the fact that Villa were in action in midweek, talking about the Carabao Cup against the same Manchester United. But they weren't able to do what they did in the Premier League against them. Brighton were able to do the business midweek and weekend as well. So for both managers, we should expect something special, don't you?
If this match actually ends in a goalless draw, we should have a petition for it to be replayed. It should not be ending goalless. I need goals. Roberto De Zerbi's team knows how to get goals aplenty. Same can be said of the Unai Emery boys, the very, very tactically astute manager. He knows how to change formations seamlessly in games, and I honestly want to see it. I want to see it from the Manchester United game. You could see you could see the hunger from the boys. They wanted to get the win, and they did. Midweek, they tried as well, but it was obvious that you can't beat what's his name, Eric Ten
Everton
Hag
Ag
on back-to-back basis. He wanted to die there, and he got the points. The well deserved multiple
qualify,
progression.
yeah, to the next
Yeah.
round.
Um, Brighton on the other hand, impressive win over Arsenal. They should bank on that and use that one against Aston Villa today, especially with them being at Amex Stadium today. It should be fun to watch. This match should be serious fun to watch. I want to see how how uh how the man that likes to play with three formations in one game is going to be facing up with the man that likes to just play three at the back, everybody else up front. So it should be nice.
It should be nice for the neutrals. It has to be a game to watch tomorrow, 3 p.m. We're expecting that one. Fulham taking on Manchester United. Fulham would feel outdone against that they weren't able to get at least a point against Manchester City
Mm-hmm.
over the weekend. Manchester United, where do you know what hit them? Talking about the Villa train, and
Mm-hmm.
now they took on Fulham, and for both managers, yeah, you would think that they have a point to prove.
Mm-hmm.
For Manchester United coming back against Aston Villa, it was very interesting,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, as it were. But this time around now, yeah, uh, we saw Manchester United dig deep against Aston Villa in midweek in the Carabao Cup, different competitions, we know.
Yeah.
But do you expect that perhaps what Fulham will be bringing, Eric Ten Hag just might not be expecting it?
Yeah. Yeah. True. It might be. It might be. It might be. Um. It might be dicey. It might be tricky. Not saying it might. It looks dicey. It looks tricky. Fulham. They did not really impress me against Manchester City. I'm not going to lie to you. They got their goal by a penalty after one of them was upended in the penalty box. They had the advantage of 10 men over the course of like 60 plus minutes in the game. They could not take advantage of it. They only had one extra shot after that.
Game long.
All game long, it was very lackluster of them. Marco Silva and his boys should be very disappointed in themselves for giving us that kind of a performance after that red card. Um, don't get me wrong, good win for Manchester City. They deserved that win. But do Marco Silva and his boys want to go down to the Manchester clubs in the space of a week? I naturally would not want to see that. You would not want to see that. You and his boys would not want to see that. But stopping Eric Ten Hag's Manchester United's boys right now looks a very tough
And for
ask
Marco
for them.
Silva, is not going to be having
Alexandra Mitrovic,
so yeah.
yeah, Mitrovic is going to be absent. You only have the services of Pereira and the former Manchester United boy, uh,
James.
Daniel James. Yeah, Daniel James. So it's going to be hard. It's going to be honestly hard for Fulham to get maximum points against Manchester United. Manchester United, on the other hand, everybody's there for them. Everybody's back fit. Is it Ronaldo? Is it Martial? Is it Rashford? Is it Bruno Fernandes? Is it Christian Eriksen? They are going to have a field day on the field of play. So I just want to see goals. I don't want to come and be seeing any drab 1-0 win or anything. I don't want to see goals. But it will be fun. It will be fun to see. It will be fun to see. And I'm on the bus with Eric Ten Hag. I believe you should get all maximum points at Craven Cottage.
Okay, let's see if Manchester United will be able to get the maximum point at the Craven Cut. I think that's what they would want to get, but would Fulham allow them to do that is another
It's gonna
question
they will not want it, but it's going to happen.
entirely. All right, we have a break in the La Liga, so no, that takes us now to the Serie A, where we have some very interesting round of fixtures. Napoli yet to lose a game in the Serie A, take on Udinese, who have only lost twice so far. For both managers, it's very interesting. Personally, towards the start of this campaign, 2020-2023 campaign, I felt like Udinese, they really marveled me.
Yeah.
I didn't expect the kind of football I was seeing them play,
Mm-hmm.
and I was marvelously surprised. Now they take on Napoli. Do you think they would be the first team to cause them to stumble in the Serie A, seeing how Atalanta were unable to do that?
Mm-hmm. Uh, hmm, my it looks dicey on paper. It looks very dicey on paper. Napoli has the strongest side in the Premier in the Serie A this season. Um, in all of Europe's top five leagues, they are the strongest team, as it is unbeaten. Uh, um, 10 back-to-back wins in the Serie A. That is something that we know Man City, Liverpool, Man United of the days used to do. Look at Napoli doing it these days. Even Juventus, when they were at the peak of their powers in the Serie A, they were not giving us this. So Udinese have been banking on the brilliance of Gerard Deulofeu. Uh, this I wanted to say Isaac Success, but he has not really been successful for them at all. He's just a bit past player. With Destiny Udogie as well, who has been impressive, the new Tottenham boy, but he's still spending time there. I see. Nothing is stopping Spalletti and his boys. They said that they're Naples. Nothing is stopping them, please. Udinese is going to come good. They will try their part. They will try their best. They'll get a goal, probably two. But don't forget Osimhen now. Don't forget Kvaratskhelia now. Don't forget Politano now. Don't forget Elmas
We
now.
know there are a
Don't
lot.
forget
We
Zambo
are
and
aware.
Gisia now. Come on, boys are on fire right now. So
And
yeah,
that's very interesting for me. Let's see if perhaps Udinese will be able to cause Atalanta to stumble. This is the last round of games we're going to be
Napoli.
having. Beg your pardon, Napoli to stumble before we go into the World Cup and then return to action in the league. Well, we have Atalanta taking on Inter Milan tomorrow. And Atalanta were ended their second
Third.
defeat, their third defeat of the season, of which I expected them to come good against Napoli. They tried; it just
Yeah,
wasn't
they did
enough
well.
to
They
get
did
them
well.
maximum point. They couldn't even get a draw in that encounter. And Inter Milan were like I was shocked to say the very least. Inter Milan have been uh,
Off and on,
yeah,
up and down.
for the most part. And something that's very interesting is the fact that Inter this season in Syria have only done wins and
And losses,
losses.
no draws.
We don't do draws here. We want to get it or we don't. So now for this particular fixture, Inter Milan scoring up to 6 goals over the midweek, and I'm like, uh this same team? Come on. I was very impressed. Now, they're taking on Atalanta, who might feel hard done going by that
Mm-hmm.
result against Napoli. What do you expect both managers, both teams, to give us in this particular encounter? And do you think they're evenly matched?
Uh, they are actually evenly matched. If you ask me, they are evenly matched. Um, what do I call it? Game wise, whereas Inter has more quality players, Atalanta have a quality manager in Gasperini,
Gasperini.
who knows the onions of the Premier of the Serie A. So Atalanta's last game, right? I was giving you a little bit of some hints on why I feel they have been underperforming this season. Malinowski has been oh Pasalic is not Pasalic that we know of. No more Papu Gomez to spray the passes. Zapata has been on the bench for a couple of weeks now. He
He's
got he
back
got
though.
yeah he
Let's see
got
what
his
he can
first
do.
start midweek, got a goal, very good one too. But he's back here now, and so most of their attacking impetus has been through Ademola Lookman and Ateboa. And I said it before, Ateboa is just a right back. So, but right now the Zapata is back. Is he going to be starting with two main man up top? Might happen. On the other hand, Inter Milan, we know that Nicola Barella this season has been their go-to man, but in their 6-1 win, he was not even present to show you that to an extent Inter seems like they are waking up. After I think their possible Champions League elimination woke them up, and since then they have been giving us very very good performances up to the 6-1 win over Bologna. The Marco, Deco, Chanakloglu, every one of them are on tip top. I can't
Four.
form right now. So going into this game, we should see plenty of goals. If they should not do another 2-1 like last week, please. We should see plenty of goals. Like the 6-1 probably should be like 6-3 or something. It's football. I want goals. Spoil records. No clean sheets. Who is keeping clean sheets? Nobody needs it right now. So I just want to see goals. I feel ah it's hard. It's hard. It's hard to pick a winner. Inter would might edge it small based on quality of players, but Atalanta is at their home, so anyone for the win. I can't pick one.
Okay, Roma taking on Torino. We had a very interesting weekend. Okay, Ose didn't have that interesting
Mm-mm.
a weekend. It would like to forget that. Now they take on Torino, and you'd expect that
Derby.
yeah, you'd expect tempers to fly. You'd expect drama to come through. You would expect that Roma give us something. I would really love for you guys to. They've been here and there. They
Mm-hmm.
have the loss, the draws, the wins. I think they're trying to balance the books, to get enough wins, then balance them with the draws,
Yeah.
balance it with the losses. I've not been so impressed with Jose Mourinho's side, but you could also talk about the fact that the absence of Paulo Dybala for them and for him, talking about Jose Mourinho, is an absence that is very well felt,
Mm-hmm.
because when he was available without the injury, we saw what he had to decide. We saw how much his partnership with Tammy Abraham
Abraham was.
was. So, what are we expecting in this particular fixture?
Uh, as you said, tempers are going to fly. The goals might not be much, but we should see Jose Mourinho's team coming out with a win here. They deserve to get themselves 3 points because they've just been playing. They will play here and get one new win, and the next game where they're playing they get beat. So they should. I know for a fact that Jose Mourinho, I might not be there, but I know for a fact that Jose Mourinho will not lie low and be like, you boys lost this past weekend and we can go out, you can do better. No, I'm pretty sure their ears would have been filled all week long. Like, you are doing this, you want me to get fired? You want me to leave? What? I know, we know Mourinho is going to get them all on their toes, and they should get the win over Torino. Torino have been impressive in the Serie A, no doubt, but they are not really a match for Roma right now. So yeah, they should get the win.
Let's see who's going to be the victor in that particular encounter. Away from that, we have Milan taking on Fiorentina. AC Milan also very interesting form. We have to mention. Pardon me. I'm trying to remember, like just trying to. Maybe I'm going to have to um, talk to Pioli. Like, bro, you guys are the current champions. You're
Mm-hmm.
the holding champions, the defending champions. Still in the mix, of course. I feel like we're just one third of the season away. There's still
Yeah,
a long way to go. But as you lay your bed, as they say, is how you're going to lie in it. And I just feel like the kind of points that AC Milan have been dropping might just be the kind of points that would
that they
eventually
will
haunt them.
rule. Yeah,
The fact that the space, the gap between Napoli and AC Milan is up to 8 points, and I think that's quite a lot at this time of the season. You
that's
don't
plenty.
you don't allow Spalletti that much room,
But
but
no, no, but only if they two have been on that kind of form this season, beating everybody black and blue everywhere. It's hard. This that kind of things only happen with like one team doing that or two teams doing that. And I'm not going to really bash AC Milan that much. They have been the second best team in the league this season, and that's just for a fact. They've been the second best team this season. Yes, they have been the second best team this season. Lazio's run of forms up to the second has been recent in the past 10 games. It's a run of form for the past 10 games. AC Milan have been impressive. They have just been unlucky not to get all points in most of their games. That's just honest truth. We've talked about Rafael Leao, their best player, one time got himself a red card, affected his form. For like 2 games, but he's back to his best. Oliver number two, Oliver Giroud is Oliver Giroud. Tonali, Catalare, Origi has not been impressive for me, but that's one of the things I'm saying. If you have, like Napoli do, they have firepowers to start, firepowers on the bench, and all of them are in top form. But here, we only have a couple of them in top form. So that should explain to an extent why they are not as high up as Napoli is,
Napoli.
but they are not far behind as well. So it is a good one for AC Milan because they still have their mindset that we are the defending champions. We have to find a way to balance up the points and get as far as we can. And facing Fiorentina, Fiorentina has not been Fiorentina, so AC Milan
We fancy their
would
chances.
pick them apart
All right.
this game.
Okay.
The scoreline might not be much, but they would outplay, outsmart, and out everything them. Stefano Pioli for the win.
Okay, and off to Mr. Max, talking about Maximilian Allegri. Apparently heard Dizzy Baba and it took it personally. They've been
Do you
in
know
a
how many
very
times I was rejecting a score?
oh okay. Maximilian Allegri will be matching and going toe to toe against that man, Maurizio Sarri, and both managers. They've had a dance around each other for quite a while. You know, they're not new to the Serie A. I mean, they know the Serie A.
Yeah.
They know the individual teams. Juventus have finally decided to take the Serie A serious. Apparently, like seeing now that they're in the Europa League, which I don't think
They're not happy about.
like they didn't expect it. So now they're like, if we continue like this, people of God, we might have problems. This is the first time all season we're seeing Juventus in top four.
Yeah.
They've been enjoying the 7th and 8th position for
Ninth
so
to an
long,
extent.
and I was like, hello, Mr. Max, do you know why you